All right, so we're doing our follow-up session from the May CLT where we looked at therapy plans based on your goal that you submitted was positional concepts. So I just observed a wonderful group with two students. One was working on positional concepts. So I looked at her IEP goal, and she has a variety of following one-step directions with positional concepts. You mentioned that she had mastered on.
Yes.
And that today's session was a focus on the spatial concept of in.
Yes, which she did really well with. She surpassed my expectations. So
She
that
did.
was awesome.
Yeah, she did very well with the in concepts. And you're right. She mastered it. Tell me what you did prior to this session to build up to that high accuracy on today.
So she definitely depends on visuals, of course. So starting with just playing around, making it more playful, putting things on her head. As you saw, she was still doing stuff like that. So making it very visual rather than just pointing to a picture, more concrete stuff. So we built upon starting with play and then moving into being more serious and more structured and giving her, those 4 opportunities to really do her best.
Really good. So I know in the CLT we talked about, myself and a few other SLPs, about how sometimes with the lower functioning students, you kind of have to make it more play and you have to use the real objects, which is what you were using with the pool and the box and the duck, which they really seemed to enjoy, both of the girls.
Yes.
They were definitely highly motivating activities for them. And actually the caribou, highly motivating. They both worked to play that game. So that was actually a great choice for a motivator.
And even though it's subtle, it still has put the ball in. Is there a ball in there? So it's kind of just re-emphasizing that concept.
Great, exactly. Yeah, so without them knowing it, they're practicing their goals. Even with the student with the pink glasses, she still worked on her goals with pink ball, it was the red ball. So you still incorporated their goals even with their reward, which is good. That's a good way to do it in an unstructured way. So yes, the therapy session was really great. I took some notes.
Okay.
Just because this was kind of like, I think I've seen the one with the blue glasses before in a group, but never the one with the pink glasses.
Right.
So I've seen a lot of growth in her this school year.
Even more maturity as well.
Yes, definitely. She was able to attend a lot better this session than before. She knew the rules, so I could tell that there was structure in your therapy sessions.
Yes, even though she was more silly today than usual, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, she's a young child.
Yes.
They're going to test the rules sometimes too. But it was clear that she understood the rules of speech and what she could and could not do. So, and the penny board worked perfect for her. She was independent, putting her pennies on and off. She knew when she received those 5 pennies that it was reward time. And I like how you differentiated it for both kids. One earned 4 stars because that's what level she was on.
She needs lower, yes.
And the other one was able to earn the 5 pennies. So that was really great. You definitely kept them on task. Another thing that we had talked about in previous coaching sessions was giving a student something to do so they could stay on task.
Right, which I knew from the beginning of the session. Sometimes the student with the pink glasses gets a little antsy and, distracted. So I knew those in worksheets could be something supportive for her to keep her busy. And then into the session after we started the game, I knew it would be a little more it would take up her time a little more.
Yeah. So you kept her in her seat.
Yeah.
by giving her something to do when you focus on the other students. So that was perfect. The verbal praise, the corrective feedback, even the 3, 2, 1 countdown to kind of control her behavior. Although it didn't work.
It did not. I usually do not resort to that because typically the student with the blue glasses will be a little more quick to respond, but it's different on every day, so you never know what you'll have to use. But it didn't work.
It didn't work, but it could work. Right. Or perhaps starting with 5, so she can have time to process what she is supposed to do when you get to 1.
Yeah, that's true, because sometimes she can be extra stubborn, so I may need to do that.
5, 4, and that way she has a few extra seconds to kind of think, okay, I have to give this duck up. Yeah. Especially since she really seems to enjoy it. It's highly motivating, and like you said, you want to start with things that are highly motivated to get them to just learn what you want them to do. And it definitely showed that they, that the sessions have been structured for them, and they knew what they were working on. Yeah. They knew what the expectations were of speech therapy. So that is great. That is fantastic. Let me see. Is there anything else I wanted to note? The only other thing that I noted was I know that we've had conversations about data collection, and I know that's been an area of concern for you, whether, how to collect data and, when to collect data and the proper way to collect data. Right. I saw you using 2 different methods to collect data today. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I generally have my data sheets on the table. Today, since we were doing more expressive and following directions, I thought maybe I could start off and, just teach and then take data, and I could remember it, but in fact I could not, so I grabbed a sticky note really quick and just jotted those things down, because I'd rather have the data rather than later forget it.
Right.
I know as I keep building on experience, that'll probably become easier to remember or play back in my head, possibly. But I just like to be sure and, rather than put inaccurate data in my session recording.
Yeah, so you just transfer it from the Post-it note onto, your data sheet. Yeah. And then into a Celotrack.
Right.
Yep.
And generally, if I have time before the session, I'll write in exactly what we'll be doing that day, but it doesn't always get filled out, as you see, which is fine, because we still worked on I want. We didn't work on I see with the visual strip today, but that's okay. It's still language.
Right. What would be the advantage of writing the activity?
I always record that in my data collection, like with Medicaid billing. So that is definitely a plus, because then you can go back and see, did they need extra support, or maybe in the next session, did they need something added to that activity, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I also will tell you, if it's a really great activity, you can go, and the accuracy is higher, you can say, oh, well, they really enjoy that. That's something that we could do again.
Right.
So, and also subjective information, too, is helpful, Abby, you could say the girl with the blue glasses was very active today. She may need a visual for hands down, or something like that. So you can look back and kind of plan for your next session.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's good.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to discuss?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.